Elyoya's been patient here, though. I'm not sure what the ward coverage is like, but Spyro has walked out once again. Counter-Strike flash. Amazing gank! Holy moly, Elyoya.
So hard, though. You kind of need to get this.
Oh, there it is.
Away all the charm!
Nicely done.
Oh, both junglers right now, I think, can deadlift 150 kilo plus.
Okay, it's not bad, it's not bad.
Okay.
I have shield, I have shield. Look here, look here.
Okay, play. I have that free. Go now.
Back up, back up, stupid too.
Yeah, we are fine.
And welcome back to the LEC as Heretics makes it to playoff here, and we'll join Fnatic and G2 as the happy winners. And Zviro, thank you so much for joining us today. First time to the desk, I think.
Yeah.
How are you doing? How do you feel about this one?
I think I'm fine. Like,
yeah?
I would change the chairs, to be honest, a bit.
That's a good note for the producers. Thank you so much.
But overall, I think it's fine.
But yeah, you make it to playoff. I think it's been a difficult split in the sense that Heretics was not doing well. 2 changes, 1 in your lane, 1 in the support. Tell me about joining the LEC first as a rookie, and what was the hardest part of joining this league and getting onto this level?
I think the hardest part was decision.
Yeah.
Because like, I was playing my scrims in Superliga, you know, I was chilling. And someone writes, we need to talk. I'm like, okay, we can talk, you know, but I need to do my stuff, you know, then we can talk. And then I got question, you know, like they need help, like do I like want to join and stuff like this. Of course, I don't do decision insta. I need to consider it because like I have a really good friends in Superliga. I think they are great players and they are like really motivated. For me, it's important to have like,
Congrats,
kind of
bro, playoffs, man.
Same goals and they like same motivation and same hunger, you know. So like for me, this was like really important to have it here as well. I know I can't like force it,
Yeah.
but you get the chance, so I just, you know, I just take it.
And you seized it completely, but keeping your champion pool as well, Eragon, which is what you noticed.
Mage player, right? You loved your back then Victor, stuff like Syndra. Is this something you want the meta to go back to? Is this because it's more skill expressive, I imagine, than just pressing Q on Karma and playing for Prio with Nico and stuff like this? Or are you happy and content with this right now?
I mean, I'm happy. I will not lie, I love Victor and Veigar.
Yeah.
I think if Veigar is played, Veigar, if you're watching, make sure Veigar is back. Bro, this champion is so good.
What do you think about, so back in the past, we used to have Ahri blind picks, and then you pick Veigar into all these dashing in compositions. Any kind of sniffing around there?
Oh.
I mean, I can't
okay,
say
that's
too
fine.
much. Maybe something will happen, you know. I can't say much about this. About what you said about the control mage. I believe the meta will be always around control mages, and I don't believe mid laners should play Tristana.
All right.
I agree.
Unless they are Chovy, but it's still like, it's really difficult for him to make Tristana work.
Yeah.
Because if you're playing ADC mid, you're missing control mage. So it's way different you play team fights.
Well, let's talk about this situation then and the choices that you guys went with, because Eragon, I know that you had some questions about the jungle, especially.
Yeah, you don't have to completely answer, because it just answer what you feel
No leaking
comfortable, right?
strats.
But the blind Volibear had me concerned, because I didn't perceive this champion as a blind pick, because I feel like in top lane, you get shafted by potentially Jax top as well as heavy range, and you're against Mervin, right? And then jungle, they can just pick Jax, flex it, and match the Volibear in any kind of way. What are your thoughts on this? Do you think it was potentially a flaw? Because also, one last thing, sorry, I wanted to get this out.
That's
it
fine.
was hard to get ball delivery in this composition, don't you think? Outside of Rakan, I felt like you were dependent on Volley having flash.
Okay, let's start with who won?
Yeah,
Volley won, of course.
Okay, sure.
So, I agree, but as well, like you need to consider it. This is a flex. Maybe
Alright.
you didn't see Wunder Volibear yet, but I tell you, like, it's diving alone, top
Okay.
lane. Bro, maybe you just take it top, you know? Then the Jankos can play like some carry that he wants, you know? And he's like, no, like, let's just Jankos play it, you know? I'm like, I'm fine. So that's like mainly why.
I have a question on this though, and we can talk about these plays, of course. How much do the old men argue between Jankos and Wonder? How much do they argue together, being the two most experienced?
I mean, you mean in the game or about the pick?
Yeah, of course, about the pick in the game.
I mean, about the pick, it was a bit, you know?
Okay.
And in the game, I think we just focus on the goals, you know?
All right.
So it's like...
We just saw a top lane team fight that actually turned the game in your favor, and we see these follow-ups. Of course, what was the defining moment of the game today? The moment you knew we're getting to playoffs with this game?
I mean, for me, when we explode the Nexus, right? For me, there is no
Fair
there is no like moment because even though you have lead like 5k, 10k, you can always throw it. So for me, there is no moment like this. Of course, we can say like maybe the shockwave on the Raptors could turn around the game, but it didn't. You know, like.
Yeah.
It was a good poke, you know, that's all.
Yeah, I mean, it still saved your team, right? I mean, to me, it's like when you have an Aatrox into full dive composition, you have a Mountain Soul on the Aatrox, like, what do you really do? I feel like this champion, I'm surprised Wunder got away with getting Aatrox into Gragas on top of that full kind of dive comp. But yeah, that was the moment in topside where I thought the game really boomed. And so you don't think so at all?
I mean, maybe yes, I think so, but for me, as I said, like, you can always throw the game. So there is no moment in the game for me like this, you know?
I love the consistency and the fact that you focused on the prize. The game is going on until the Nexus explodes.
Yeah, I mean, on the sorry, on the end of the game, says, do we play for kills? I say no, we play for Nexus. Like first they ask like when we hit in, can we end the game? You know? I'm like, bro, we can if we just focus on the tower. When we get the towers, he says, oh, we play for kills. I'm like, no, just the Nexus.
So you're reining everyone in. The game isn't over until the Nexus
I mean, bro, I don't want to lose the game and I don't kill the Nexus.
We had the Spanish rivalry match. We're going to go and wrap up this day with the French rivalry match. I don't know what to expect from this one. We came into today, Eragon, saying that Vitality is more disciplined than they were in winter. You can see the progress, slowly and steady. Karmine Corp, I don't think they're stable to the point that I'm expecting them to yet, but we'll see about this game if they can clutch it, because for me it would be an upset if K-Corp wins over Vitality.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Vitality have been playing extremely well. Some ups and downs, but even in the early game against Fnatic, I thought they were dominating the entire thing until teamfights that came around. But we'll have to see what they prioritize.
You're saying about the yesterday game? No, about the last week game. I remember the scrims yesterday, but I can't say too
Oh my god.
I love it. I love it. Oh no.
So,
positive and negative for Vitality.
I will say it's honest, like positive for them. Like, they play really good. I think they found something as a team like that we didn't like found yet, you know, but it's coming there.
Right, let's focus on stage games. I love the Scream insights.
I mean, Orianna, like...
Yeah, opening with Orianna. What do you think of this?
I think it's almost permanent in LCK for a reason. Like this champion wins every matchup.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's so hard to play some matchups. Like today, for example, I played this matchup bad, but if there is a really good player, this Ahri will need to TP, and then she gets like, please help me bot lane. I'm like, please help. You know, like if you play Ahri into this, you need to be really good.
So like a war of attrition where you win off the TPs in the Lost Chapter and it's just really, really doomed. Yeah. And then you've got loads of good pairings in the meta too, like the Vi and like the Xin Zhao as well. Yeah,
I think your best hope when you play this matchup is your bot lane coming.
Yep.
Or in the team fights you get random charm on her. But if you don't, unlucky.
I would like to point you guys' attention on the amount of AD carry bans here on the first rotation. And I know that Upset loves Hysterics. He's going to have to go with Senna here. What do we have open on the other side? We saw Carzzy like in the TF bot lane. Do you think it's going there?
I'm not sure if I should say it.
Yeah.
I think it goes both.
It's a triple flex.
You've seen it though.
I've seen it,
right?
Yeah.
Into the smolder, to make things volatile down bot side. We also, I imagine Photon would play it top side too, so it's probably just a flex as well.
But there are so many DC bans that make me think like bot lane just
It is crazy.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. What do you wrap the first rotation with here? I think that this is, I mean, we kind of expect that the Rell is going to go in the jungle on the Vitality side, so is Lee Sin the right choice here?
Yeah, my only concern is they drop Nautilus. I think you drop all the pairings, so Senna Nautilus might be gone off the table. You know, Senna Tahm Kench as well. What are your thoughts on this?
I'm not really sure what they will play if there is no Senna, no TK or Nautilus. And Lee Sin, I think he's a fine champion, but you need to be really good on it. And it's like, why you pick it? Like, no, there are better champions.
Yeah.
Maybe not in this draft because Vi is banned, but there is for sure some good champions.
I do think it's the kind of champions you want to see Bo on to set up the pace of the game, and he's usually really active with this type of picks. Question is going to be, can they translate it into mid-game pressure and late-game pressure? We'll see what they can do with this. What do you see as last bans here, Eragon?
I think you could potentially pinch away the Nautilus or the Tahm Kench. The thing that we saw last time, I think, with the Twisted Fate was the Rakan, and they just managed to absolutely stomp the lane. So I'm wondering if Hylissang goes towards that. It's his absolute classic. But here, I mean, top lane is getting pinched pretty heavy. Yeah, Nautilus, I agree.
I mean, TK is not happy to play into Orianna, right? And it's like, I would ban Nautilus. Oh,
it's still open.
Because they think it's flex.
Interesting. And the last ban here, I think you want to see top lane maybe.
Potentially, yeah. I think there's a lot still open. I figured they were fishing for Cassante, but
Oh,
they're
there
going
you
to
go.
ban away the Neela. Works well with Senna, I suppose. We heard this
I mean,
a
that's
few months ago.
That's what they call the secret bot lane for KC. Neela, Senna, that's something that they had been playing. And we saw this in EMEA Masters, actually.
Yeah.
You know it.
I mean, that's really weird that Nautilus is
Yeah,
open
I
here, I
agree.
think. Like,
Yeah.
span Nautilus, why are you scared of the Renekton?
Wow. We're going to swap over to the Braum now. I think Braum, Alistair, potential into Nautilus here, as pairing with the Twisted Fate, and then you've got a blind pick top lane too. So blind pick top lanes that seem pretty good with Renekton and the Rumble ban are Cassante. Aatrox is also okay.
Yeah, but Gwen is open still.
I think
it's
Aatrox
difficult
is
here.
probably your best because it's against a full dive composition,
Yeah.
and then they're all coming into you.
And now I think it's Rell jungle, no? Or is it?
Yeah, I mean it's nice. It works well with the Orianna, right? You got a nice ball delivery as well.
Yeah, but what do you play with TF bot?
You could sack lane and pick a Rakan here.
Alice?
You could also pick Braum. You have enough engage.
I mean, maybe Alistar is
Alistair,
good.
Yeah.
Ball delivery is really
Like,
nice.
they need to dive in, and Alistar just tanks everything.
And
Alistar is so broken.
That's the healiest pick ever. I mean, oh,
Oh no!
wait, so Rell would
Are they
be
cooking?
going support? They have been cooking.
No, I think it's Camille support.
Camille
Camille
support, yeah.
support? Oh my god, I saw this in solo queue recently. It was not great. But in pro play, what does this translate to?
I mean, it means they want to fist fight bot,
Yep.
but like, can they fist fight this bot lane? I'm not sure how TF exactly bot lane works. Like, is he winning like against Senna Nautilus?
So usually what we see with Camille into Nautilus is they take Aftershock so they can actually match the tankiness without being blown up, and then they can force a bunch level 1 with the Halo Blades. We saw in the LPL, like, Camille's late invading, splitting the map because of the raw power she has with the E. So maybe we'll see a lot of volatility there. But really, I guess it's Vitality, the cooks are back.
Yeah, give me your predictions actually based on both drafts and how they're supposed to play into each other. What do you
It's
think?
so hard. Like, I'm
Yeah?
thinking, like, how do they play? I mean, I like the left draft more because there is Orianna. Like, I just love this champion. Like, it's so broken. But, like, I mean, both teams can win. Like, this draft is like 50-50 and depends on the skill and how bot lane matchup works. Because I'm not sure about bot lane matchup. I think left team wins by the draft.
Yeah, I would say left team as well. I prefer it. I mean, you got Bo on Lee Sin, so it's a case of how good he is on that Lee Sin. I think there's a lot of simple playmaking you can make with the Rell invade potential, with the Q damage, as well as all the Halo Blades on the Camille. So I like the proactivity Vitality up there.
Maybe
Yeah.
they just late invade Raptors.
Yes, that's a spicy one,
That's
isn't
so
it?
good, no?
And we'll see what both teams can do with this draft as everything is set. A qualification in playoffs is on the line for Vitality in this French off here in the LEC Casters. Over to you for KC versus Vitality.
Yes, it is a French revolution in here. It is loud. I haven't been to many nightclubs in France, but I assume...
I mean, as an Australian, I would have thought you were there every weekend. You know?
Everyone has this reputation of us. But now my reputation of KC fans is going up and up because they are loud. They're in charge of the arena. Vitality fans, I can't really see them because all I see is this massive section supporting KC as always. But they need the support. Vitality are the ones who lock in playoffs with this win. Remember, the magic number is 5. Vitality simply need a win. For KC, they need to dig their way out of the trenches because right now, if they lose this, they are sitting with Giant X and Mad at 2 and 5. They are sitting down in the bottom 4. This breaks away. This gives them some leverage and gives them some kind of control over their fate as well. It is a massive matchup, and I understand why people have probably flown over for this one, considering it is France versus France in what is going to be a very fun game. And Dagda, that's because as soon as that Camille was locked in, I looked at you.
I'm very excited. I've been waiting for this Camille to make an appearance in LEC for a while now. We got to see a lot from my Wandy over in the LPL, I should say.
Yep.
And essentially the whole game plan is to play like a psychopath. And if anyone knows Hilly, he looks playing like a psychopath.
That's not hard, is it?
Essentially, you just want to all in every opportunity you can. Make sure that you're able to play off of the E, which gives you increased attack speed when you hit it. And then you also get the Halo Blades, and you can just trade incredibly effectively in the early stages. So expect this to be a very much a lane that you're going to look for Carzzy to hit his stun, set up for Hilly to go all out, and then see if you can pick up some early kills. Because if not, this Camille falls off a cliff.
Oh, yeah, I mean,
you just don't have the survivability when you get to the late game. So you have to play aggressive in this bottom lane.
Yeah, like what will you do without kills, without priority? I mean, it's going to be a painful 2v2 at least to get through from the side of Upset and Targamas because, let's be real, there's a lot of lockdown between those two, hit level 6 as well. And following that lockdown, there's going to be a lot of mobility that's added to the composition of Vitality. So watch this 2v2 play out for the first time because it's not something we see quite often. And I feel like Dagda in this lane, Targamas has got a big responsibility, a lot of disengage, a lot of, I guess, front lining in front of Upset, because if Upset gets caught, like level 3, level 4, I feel like that guy's just dead.
Yeah, a huge amount of this is trying to see if you can there burn the Aftershock from Targamas, and now Hilly is fine. Hasn't really burnt anything, hasn't really taken too much damage back, but now bone plating down, Aftershock down. This is where Hilly and Carzzy can look to play aggressive in this matchup. Level 2 specifically as well, with that point and click CC from Carzzy setting up for Hilly as well. It becomes really difficult to play this matchup, and you can see Upset and Targamas immediately backing off and giving a lot of respect to this lane.
You can also see Daglas back on his Rell at level 3, walking around bottom side. Now, this just could be for the scuttle, but that's 40 seconds away from spawning. Even further, actually. So, where's he going?
Well, he's been spotted. I mean, good ward coverage right now from Karmine Corp to spot out what is happening. Bo went for an early reset, imagining that Daglas might try and go for some sort of evade here. So, you've got the support from Targamas coming across, and Bo has a longsword.
Q Smite gets it in the end. Blue buff achieved, but flashes away. Nice hook from Targamas. There's the summoner, but Vitality still looking to go in. Hookshot, walk shot, ends up going over to the Gromp. And remember, level 2 is achieved, so Carzzy has that CC, but Targamas won't give him an opportunity to use it.
Targamas, though, would like to be able to pick up some of the CS by hitting under terrace so he doesn't end up falling behind too much when it comes to levels, but it will mean Daglas is able to force Bo away from the Gromp. Blue was also taken, so definitely Bo going to be on the back foot here as the entirety of Vitality just setting up for this invade.
They see him on a ward, hookshot, walk shot. This time it does connect. Adaptive defenses means it's hard to kill him. Hilly ignites him, flashes! Oh, he solo kills that jungler. What a baller. Hilly ain't so silly. When he picks up first blood as Carzzy gets a gold card, and in the bottom side, it's another kill. You know what, Dagda, you're worried about this bottom lane not working, but it's bloody doing the opposite.
And they immediately go for the play. Hilly with the solo bolo on the support Camille. This is exactly what you want to see when you have a Camille support locked in, and as well, picking off the kill is underneath the tower to get that over to Carzzy. The spot lane's already set up and rolling, and it's not going to stop anytime soon.
I mean, you said that Camille was strong. I didn't realize it was this strong.
It's silly. It is very silly.
And it rhymes with Hilly.
Yeah, and look, Bo ends up trying to push forward, but look, you can see there, like the hail of blades, and also then the slow that ends up coming out off of the W as you flash forward is just absolutely monstrous. So it ends up working out perfect, and then Carzzy gets the CC onto Targamas. Targamas took the steps too far forward, tries to think they can pick up Daglas, but ends up getting punished for it.
Well, a kill to both the bottom laners and the Vitality support staff alike. It's working. It indeed is working. Someone is used in the trade. Hilly burning both. Carzzy with one ghost, but Targamas now out of his own with the Hex Flash in hand. Bo had to flash as well. And this jungler a little bit behind now. Daglas is a camp ahead, so we'll have to see if that's maintained. We'll have to see what follows through with the bottom side, because Upset didn't burn his summoners, but we look at where the wave state is, Dagda. We look at the extra damage that we know is going to be coming through. And the bottom lane of KC has to slowly walk up to this or bide their time.
I think for Bo, you need to start trying to play around Saken. I think it's in the 2v2 or the 3v3, you don't end up winning out against Carzzy and Hilly. So try and bring extra reinforcements through Saken, because in a 2v2 scenario, like a flash charm from Saken or the setup with the ult into charm onto Vetheo can get you that advantage that you need to then lean bot and put some manners onto Hylissang when he tries to play hyper aggressive in this bot lane. But at the moment, they just don't really feel confident to do it. Daglas going to take Void Grubs, will give Dragon control over the Bo, I imagine, on the back of this, unless he wants to try and go for a play on bot side here.
Scuttlecrab already taken, but as you said, Bo has the options here. The level 4 Lee Sin looking for an angle, but none given in. The wave is slowly pushing, but it is quite a large wave, and with that Camille, I kind of wonder, Dagda, if you have the damage to deal with a 2v3. I feel like Vitality might be confident that they could win it out. I don't know.
Especially if Targamas doesn't have like Aftershock or the bone plating, that's where you're really going to be in trouble. So bone plating just popped there. We'll have to keep an eye on it every time we look at that bot side. But Daglas happening to now move back in towards his own jungle. He's going to full clear down towards his bot side. And Bo kind of just wandering about headlessly. Doesn't really know where he's supposed to be going because none of his camps are up, but it doesn't feel like he can really put in an event in or Saken. Now hit 6 though. This is where Vetheo should be very careful.
Level 6, as you said, flash is available. Here comes Bo, the charm going to connect, and this is just greedy. Vetheo coming in, gets the shockwave, but Bo's still there. Flash, Tempest, Cripple, avoided. But Vetheo shouldn't have had to burn that flash. As you said, Dagda, big greedy from the mid laner of Vitality.
It's the one place that Bo is able to make a play. Like, if you don't give him that, you're going to be in such a good spot. But Vetheo now, without that flash, is going to be a sitting duck next time Saken wants to go for his own flash charm, or even when that ultimate comes back up and available. So I have no doubt Bo will be making another appearance in this mid lane, and maybe that's what KC need to get control over this bot lane.
At least it's some kind of good feeling for the time being for Bo to find an angle through mid. That punishment will have to track because, as you said, now it also creates an angle for KC in this early game that is going very much awry. It's a 2k gold lead, and Bo has to do something because Dagda, with the lead in bot side, with the lane going so well, we got to remember the TF scales with, not scales, but the passive, the extra gold value he gets. Even if you're even in CS, it's massive already, 500 up, as you're just pointing at the screen saying, Jake, triple longsword, I see it. That Camille's also up 500 gold, by the way.
Oh, Daglas didn't spot the ward, actually. He's went in the bush, so Daglas doesn't think he's on vision now. How greedy do you want to get here? Do you want to just go for the dive regardless? That could actually be the call here. Bo's not in position.
Yeah.
He's spotted on a ward on top side. I think that's why Daglas stopped his reset. And you can see Karmine Corp, they just have to completely give space here.
Targamas stays under turret, trying to clear out the wave. I mean, Upset reads the room. Passive comes through. Magnetstorm, but Daglas is tanky enough. He's got flash too. Turret shot comes in, though. He's burning down, and it will be a trade. But the kill goes over to Hilly a second time. Upset has to sit here in a 1v2. And Bo, can he get in time for the next wave? Because Dagda, I feel like against the Senna with no ulti, is this diveable too?
Could potentially be Hylissang not going to hit 6 though, so I think they are just going to back it on up. Vetheo even moving down just to cover will spot out that the ward is here, so I think Dagla's a little bit greedy in the play. Could have flashed away from the dive, making sure that he's able to escape, but ends up giving his life over to Targamas. But it is only the support. It's not actually the farming Nautilus this time around. It is the fasting Nautilus. It's going to be the farming Senna, so not the end of the world, that kill going across the Nautilus.
True. So it does mean that Upset absorbing some of the farm is not the end of the world, as Dagda pointed out, but still the bottom side now with Hextech Ultimatum as Hilly just hit level 6. Is still in a great position here for Vitality. That 2k gold lead maintained as Bo tries to get in the thick of it now with Dragon's Rage, but Daglas is here with Hilly and an engage. So Bo jumps back on in. Saken's here. Hextech Ultimatum used charm. Not connecting the kick. Sends him outward, and Hilly done part of his job. It's ulti for an ult as Dragon disengaged from. But Vitality running back towards River. Now to see if KC can walk in.
Well, Vitality can't get Dragon now because Hilly missed the initial stun and then has to get kicked out of his ultimate. There's no follow-up with Vetheo, who would have loved to try and get the ultimate on towards Bo, but the kick disengages, so it's only the Skull Crab that ends up going across, and you're going to buy the time to slow down the pace of this game again. Like, Hilly needs to get absolutely massive, because once he gets past these early stages, he's just not going to be as impactful as, say, Targamas on the Nautilus with the point-and-click CC and the other things that he can bring to the table.
So what does it entail, I wonder, as we're going to pull up, you know, looking for the Blood Song to come through. Just a quick note on builds as I'm looking through. Blood Song, the way to go. Dag, you already talked about the Eclipse. Things like the Umbral Glaive, since it is also pro play, has a lot of value as well, with a lot of that ward clearing. But seeing how Hilly can interact with the rest of the map, I think is something I'm going to keep tracking on as his tunnel has just been picked up.
I think he is going for the Sundered Sky first, though, because we've seen it a little bit where people will kind of bounce back and forth between Eclipse or Sundered Sky.
Yep.
With the tanky Nautilus on the opposite side, you will get a little bit more burst out of it, and you can keep yourself alive that little bit longer, which is probably what he's thinking, because in the grand scheme of things, he kind of needs to be that main setup. Yes, you've got, obviously, Rell that can try and do that to a certain extent, but you're going to be really in the thick of things, and there's a lot of AoE damage that will just get you hit in the middle of this fight.
And again, when you see things translate from solo queue to pro play, a lot of the time the builds also do change in some regard as well, as Gnar is achieved by Cabochard against the wall. Photon might find himself, but the connection's not there. A bit of a whoopsie from Cabo, but he's got Bo to cover him, as Photon with flash available and a dunk means that Cabo has to pay the respect. And it is ulti from the top laners, while 2 of the grubs are taken in the meantime.
Hilly, I love this. It's just like, wait, you said top laner's low? I got lockup. I'm down to
He's got ignite.
It's like, hang on, is that a 3rd kill for me? But Cabo respects it, backs away entirely. Of 3 void groups to 2 on both sides of the equation. But I do think, again, it's going to be Hilly seeing how he can try and impact the map now. If he can maybe lock down Saken for a big ultimate from Vetheo, if he can follow up with Daglas. Like, these are kind of where I want to see Vitality utilizing this Camille.
But what we talk about what bottom lane can do, KC got their own. Arga's starting to roam up as well. Bo's cancelled his back now. once or twice. Photon walks up to the wave. Bo eventually commits. And timing for Photon as he jarts forward. That's not a word, but Daglas is now here behind in the fog of war, and Cabo's about to go Mega Gnar.
Trying to see if Cabo's going to go for the all-in and just be here to prepared for that, although good trading from Photon.
Yeah.
Looking where Bo is, though. I'm going to see if he can try and get in onto this bot side. Daglas wasting a lot of time up here.
I mean, but so did Bo in the same regard. Daglas still ahead in CS, and as Bo comes down bottom side, it's honorable that you mention it because he's trying to see, again, what he can do with Carzzy and Hyilissang. And you're right, the warding's been so good from Vitality that's been consistently tracking Bo that he hasn't really had any options because Vitality now paying a lot more respect to this jungle pick too.
Yeah, and even like Vetheo now, flashback up, your opportunity to try and play around mid lane isn't quite there. So
top. I mean, the map is just all Vitality at the moment. KC are now down 3,000 gold. Dagda, they're slowly losing out in such a big way. It's flashed away, okay. Finally doing something about it there. The flash from Hilly, meaningful there as it was only a dredge line to commit.
Yeah, not too shabby for Targamas to be able to at least get that out. But again, I think it's like, this is kind of where Vitality are fishing to get these early plays, to get the control that they need to. And I think right now with Daglas spotted again in the bot lane.
Destiny going to be used. Carzzy, okay, not the right card in the end. And Upset just walks it out.
So I do think they realized that Daglas had been spotted. So he actually goes for the blue card instead because he's just like, hey, look, this isn't actually going to work out. A blue card deals more damage. So it's like, I'll just get as much damage as possible onto Upset out of this trade. Because you can see how quickly Upset was going to back away. And maybe you could have tried to get the cleanse or something out, but it was kind of a toss-up as to whether that was actually going to work.
Okay, fair call. At the very least, you can see that Carzzy comes back to lane with his item intact as well. We've got a static shiv and an extra Cabochard shard. The Cabochard? Whoever that guy is. That person's shard. And Carzzy's got
What if
one.
it's just Kurt and he has a chaise? Oh. He just has a nice chair.
What is a chaise? Oh, like a chaise lounge.
Yeah.
Right. But I don't think that's how you spell it, is it?
No.
C-H-E-I-S? No, surely not.
K-I or C-H-E-I.
Or, yes. Here we go
I
again.
didn't realize you were baiting me.
I didn't mean to, but here we are. Yeah. Team in the LPL not doing well right now, probably because you're not there.
True. I haven't said orangey enough, you know.
Yeah. Have you had your vitamin C today? As Hylissang takes the turret. This is bot side first turret blood. Where the Vitality fans at? Because when KC aren't finding much, the arena gets a little bit quiet. To be fair though, they do cheer. There we go again. No matter what, but guys, cheer a little bit louder because 4K. Vitality are 4K gold ahead. And Dagda, it feels like smooth sailing. Like bot is 1.1K ahead each.
I think the problem for Vitality though is like, yes, you are getting... Sorry, maybe it's not a problem. How I want to see them push forward here is Daglas is going to find Bo.
There's a crash down coming through. Bo took that Sonic Wave back in. Targamas is here, but Carzzy's now joined in. Wait for the gold card as Stretch Line hits the wall instead. Targamas goes golden as the teleport as well. Hilly tries to predict, but Saken Spirit Rush over the wall. But now he's just jumped into a Shockwave and ulti for the Hextech Ultimatum, not doing too much. In KC are pulling apart the pieces. Vetheo comes in and changes the fight though as Bo jumps over the wall. The Shockwave finally comes through. I was baited before as Bo was too. Saken with the last Spirit Rush gets over the wall, but it's a 2 for 2. Saken running for his life. Vetheo giving movement speed to Photon. And Vitality trying to find a little bit more.
It looked good from the get-go for Karmine Corp, but unfortunately just not quite able to get it across the line. Vitality very spread out as they start to go in towards that, but Upset trying to see if we can find Carzzy.
He's got flash available too. Carzzy has nothing except the gold card, runs into it, and will he die? Yes, he will. Upset gets one, that's beneficial, with a big shutdown over to Upset.
And a big dragon available as well, so Karmine Corp with that advantage can actually immediately move over towards that. They've got all their members back on the map, and there's very little that I think Vitality would be able to do. Carzzy does have TP, he does have his ultimate available, so maybe Karmine Corp not feeling as feisty to try and go for that, but Bo could potentially look for some sort of play here. So they're going to back away.
Hilly does have the Sundered Sky with the Blood Song available now. Note that if Carzzy gets into this fight around the Dragon, which seems to be delayed, with everyone just picking up waves, and Carzzy will have himself a Zeal, but not quite into that rapid fire cannon, that second item TF that gains the range advantage. I'll also note that Vetheo, who's done a pretty good job in some of these fights and doing a lot of damage already. It's funny having Spyro on the desk talking about how good this champion is right now, is now also going to be picking up a Zhonya's second. the stopwatch in hand, or at least the new stopwatch version. And so there are a lot of tools onto Vitality. Also talking on the other side, we do have strong 1 items for KC2 in this fight. Especially if Cabo can get in and utilize that Trinity Force with a potential Mega Nava.
Yeah, Cabochard is here, and I like the way Karmine Corp are trying to go for this with Cabochard joining with the rest of the team. But the problem is they just don't have the vision control.
Yep.
A lot of what Vitality are going to try and do with this composition is, hey, Carzzy, Hilly, let's try and collapse on Daglas, find a pick, and then turn that into objectives. And if you don't have control, as Karmine Corp finds very hard to actually try and contest into these points, because trying to get that lockdown with Carzzy and Hilly, that single point of contention, is very easy.
Destiny sees Targamas, Bow jumps on in. There's a Hextech ultimatum. I think that was a shockwave use. No, it wasn't. Excuse me. It's a bait in the Magnet Storm. They've already found Bow, though, and KC start this fight off at a disadvantage. Good route onto Hylissang, but rest of Vitality are flying through. And as you mentioned, Photon has appeared. Targa runs out, if only just to save his own life, as Photon takes a trade on the way out, but KC are sent packing again. Herald is going to reset, but not for too long, as Vitality look to take another objective.
That's the thing, though. If you end up separating against Vitality, it's so easy for that single target CC to cause issues. Vitality easily jump onto Bow, easily find the pick, easily find the Rift Herald, and may even turn this onto Saken, who gets the charm.
Foxfire comes out as well. Hilly close to dying, but Saken run out of the rotation. Hookshot, wall shot out of there while Vetheo gets the turret in the meantime. Rest of KC are trying to move up topside, but already the play's done. Another turret dropping down. The objective picked up. It's a double dragon game here for Vitality so far as well. It's a 5k gold lead. And after we look at this fight, you're starting to see Vitality flex their wallets.
And with the ultimates, Vitality have all the information that they need, so they immediately turn on towards Bow. Bow, not a hope he's getting out of that one. And Cabochard, you're just too late for the party. Vitality have already locked down one member. Upset is in a terrible spot. Photon in a good flank position. And KC, they're scrambling to try and get their front line into position, but it's already gone.
Again, you know what's frustrating is watching the SK game back, like seeing Cabo on something like the Sion, and we were also struggling to see a front-to-back, a team fight put together by this team. Here in this game, not giving the opportunity as the Magnet Storm comes out and dredge line away, but follows Hilly as the TV comes through. Maybe Vitality gone too far forward, but with a double shattering strike, it's only Daglas for the time being, but the charm means everything. Opening up as Cabo flashes in, gets the route back, and I may have cursed him in a good way. You are welcome, KC fans. I'm here all game.
But is Hilly going to be around for much longer? Saken gets the charm!
Oh, he predicts it as well. Saken nicely done. The Hextech ultimatum flies through, but as Hilly flashes away, Cabo has the range. And it's another one to bite the dust. KC are quickly getting back in.
Upset is trying to clear out the wave. He's now spotted the Photons on the side, so he's going to back away. Vitality want to try and get the mid-tower. Bow coming into position to try and defend it, but I think that tower's gone.
It is gone, so more gold back in the pocket of Vitality, but at least slowing the game down and getting something back, Dagda. Well, watch against Vitality went a bit far.
And this is what we talked about. Vitality, the single target is fantastic, but if you don't pick that single target, well, now you got nothing left in the tank. And KC, there's the front to back you were talking about, Hysterics. Cabo in the front line, the flash forward onto Carzzy, just managing to pick off the TF, who has no summoner spells. And then that's exactly what KC needed to try and get some gold back in this game.
I mean, it does slim down that gold margin, but again, still 4K, so they've got a lot more work to do, and especially in front of something like the Dragon. A minute 40 until we get that next objective bottom side, they're not out of the woods yet.
But when this game was starting to run away with it, it felt like Vitality were going to again put themselves into playoffs. Yep. That's what KC need to try and get back into the swing of things, get the tempo in their favor, stop the pick potential for Vitality, start to play towards these team fights. And now you definitely need someone to help Upset. Upset does need to push out these waves and try and keep Carzzy from doing exactly what it looks like they might do, which is play for side lanes and look for these collapses. Rift Herald, though, going to get this bot lane tier 2, and there's very little KC can do about it.
And we're going to jump in. Vitality position themselves around it, and you can see Upset now looking to match, but he can't do too much. Herald gets the charge. Vitality with another turret. That's 4-0 in turrets, by the way, as they're finding a play on the other side of the map. Almost criminal Destiny as well. Re-engaging with the flash from Daglas. Gets over the dredge line. Saken has to flash out himself as the last of the Spirit Rush gets him out of dodge. But now Vitality on Baron's side of the map. They've burned Saken's ulti and the flash. They're looking at Baron.
And there's no TP. Vitality, they want to try and go for this. They want to just try and bait KC in, though, so they can go for the turn. Watch Hylissang has the ult available. They want to try and catch Bow.
What can they do? A crucial moment for KC here. They don't want to fall down with the rest of the 2 and 5s, and Vitality got playoffs to make. Sonic Wave, not stolen. Bo, a noble attempt. The kick flash as his way out as Photon goes over the wall, but meanwhile Targa tries to get the rest of the fight. The depth charge there. Hilly about to dive it with his dying breath. An ultimatum flies through. A shockwave follows through, and Vitality on the edge of everything still take on KC with open arms. Bo running for his life, but Carzzy, the camera flicks back. Another kill flies through, and Vitality reassure us that this game ain't going anywhere.
Daglas spotted upset of the wall, but not going to follow. Photon picks off Saken on the top side of the fight as the rest of Vitality are running amok on Karmine Corp. Now mid down, top to follow. Vitality taking control once again.
Their tools, Dagda. Their tools are just so fun to watch. The engage, the buttons to go in. It's been such a fun draft to watch play out from Vitality's angle. And it's kind of taken KC by shock in the early game with not only this bottom side, but jungle not being able to find anything. There are a lot of issues there.
TP. This is it. This is the hero play. Karmine Corp are trying to find their moment, but kind of goes to nothing. Looked like they were going to try and collapse onto top side, knowing KC had committed members to the top side, but not or to Dragon, but not going to be it.
I know you're pointing at that. You're telling me like maybe Forsaken, but the fact he finds nothing, the fact Dragon goes down, Soul Point here. The Baron power play already at 4,500 for Vitality as they found yet another turret at the start of it. Leads us closer to that 10k gold mark. 9,000 at the top of your screen right now. And this is what you want to see again. I said the same thing about Team Heretics last game. I'll say it again about here, about Vitality. You want to see this aggression from this team that they're so well known for, and you want to see this cleanliness of play to close this out.
But that's the thing. They've been so tempered with the way they've been playing it. They've just been waiting for essentially this wave to hit.
Oh,
this
yeah.
Is psycho. Okay, we're going to leave that there. But basically, wait for the wave to be collected the tier 2 by upset because Targamas isn't sitting with upset. He's not able to contest the wave state from a position that's further up, and they end up in a position where they're actually able to collapse onto side lanes from positions where they really shouldn't be able to. And since they're able to get across the map faster, they're just finding these moments to get KC when they're off guard.
Oh, pick onto Carzzy though. Oh, he ghosts immediately, tries to get out of there. Bo with the Sonic Wave, out of range. Dagda, I fixed your little tool for you, I think. But
I think the moment's gone. I think KC.
You can draw a frowny face if you want.
Thank you.
I did one for Rogue.
I'll leave it for you. I'll leave it for you.
Yeah, no, I'm not allowed.
Now on the side. He's actually just going to split push. It's like the old Pike days. Bo, can you get the kick?
Depth charge there onto Carzzy. Use goes before. He has no summoners, but they can't get past Daglas, and Vetheo zones off as Cabo takes the brunt of the zoning tools. Hilly, as you said, I love that he's split pushing. I love that he's side laning against Saken. KC are trying to pick an angle, and they're like, which one? All 3 lanes are running in.
Cabochard can't defend against Photon. He's about to go Mega. Vitality going to have to wait this one out.
Like,
that's maybe the moment where they want to try and go. Vitality, though, as soon as they see members of KC start to lean top, they just go for the mid lane turrets.
But the edge of Night Purchase as well on Photon makes things even harder. Hilly now returns to mid as you can see slowly pushing away. There it is. The engage comes through, and Hextech ultimatum flies in. Vitality. This draft, again, how ballsy it was for their playoff game. As now moving to the top side, 1 inhibitor already down. KC need to find a moment to fight. Maybe this is not it. They're not getting the engage they want. They're not getting the opportunity. Destiny used, Carzzy in position with a gold card, and KC are like, maybe the last stand has to be in front of the Nexus turrets because now the base is completely shattered.
And there's no way for Karmine Corp to really try and answer for this. Their wave clear is abysmal. They've only really got Saken that can try and clear these waves effectively, but when all 3 waves are being pushed in, one of them by support Hilly, there's just no way he can be in all 3 places at once. Karmine Corp's base is in shambles. And with Dragon in 2 minutes time, potential soul for Vitality, there's just nothing left in the tank for KC.
And Vetheo's just picked himself up the Book of Death. Almost 3 items that Zonya's never turned into one, still held out with the Seeker's Arm Guard activate available. Rabadon's instead, he just rushed it. At 280 CS, you see how he has the money for it. He's ahead of the clock, and I think Vetheo has been chilling this game. Been getting super confused with the Magnet Storms and Shockwave. It's one of those days.
Just big circles.
They're big circles, but the circles are most of the time hitting. You know, it's Daglas and Vetheo both having great ultis here in this game.
But that's the thing, when Hylissang makes the pentagon over the big circle.
The hexagon goes in the circle box.
And then Bo finds himself very miserable because he can't get out of the box.
It's very true. It's been a rough game for him, and like You know, credit goes to Daglas. I think credit goes to the bottom side of Vitality, but the options weren't there. The lanes were so good here for Vitality. And they've really transitioned that well. It's a 26-minute game, but it feels like it's much longer with an 11k gold lead for Vitality. With Baron that comes up for them in a minute time, with the next Dragon Soul in a minute time too. Top side's crashing in.
Double super creeps.
Mid eventually will join up as well with that wave on its way. And bottom side is being queued up very slowly so that Vitality look at the last inhibitor turret.
Yeah, Saken gone to clear the double super creeps, but he's not going to be able to do so. So Vitality playing this one by the book, slow and steady, take down the last inhibitor turret and the last inhibitor. And now the minions are still streaming in, and KC, they're kind of just left trying to hold the fort while Vitality got to go and slay a dragon.
I like again that they've had such aggression in this game, but they're trying to play the dragon, but Targamas probably thinks that peekaboo! Oh, he's not going anywhere. Photon picks it up, and now 5 versus 4. Those minion waves are going to be even more impactful. As KC probably thought, oh, they're setting up for dragon. Targamas felt safe, but that was a lie.
And that's your main engage tool down. Cabo in Mininar, not going to be able to try and set this one up. He needs to try and stack it. Saken tries to go.
He tries.
Vetheo goes gold.
Is finally with the Seeker's Arm Guard used out. Vetheo comes out and he's quite all right. Saken with 2 Spirit Rushes available. The waves crashing in. Charm does connect, but it's onto Daglas. And they have to make their stand here. Gold card sets up. Turret's getting hit down. Bo stands, but to his own ground. He won't do too much as Photon is firing away. I've seen many Aatroxes today, and Photon and Wonder are hitting peak. He's in the front line taking damage himself, but still refuses to die. As Vitality sit in front of the Nexus, hit away, say we are Vive la France, and we are going to playoffs in spring.
The 5 wins for Vitality is taken. And the loss delivered to Karmine Corp, who desperately would have liked to try and put themselves up against Mad Lions Koi ahead of Giant X. But it's Vitality with a very, very clean game who locked themselves into playoffs.
Got to be so happy about that. I mean, especially when Vitality this split. Dagda, we came through after last split. We said, look, there's some core weaknesses. They're looking so much better, so much more revitalized. This bottom lane, I love the experimentation here in this game, but I love the fact that Carzzy and Hyilissang in the laning phase looking better. As if you want to have the same opinion as me, or at least show me up, remember you can vote for your career player of the game at LEC on X. Is it Daglas, Vetheo, or Hylissang? Camille support Dagda. That was a good game of it. And like the Rek'Sai top earlier on, I think solo queue tonight is going to be quite meaty.
Yeah, we're getting some real spicy drafts coming through, but it's sick to see, right? I think initially very well played by Hyilli and Carzzy, like playing the point-and-click CC, set up for Camille, use the Hail of Blades, and even the solo kill for Hyilli at the start of the game was incredible. I think there's just a lot more that we get to see from Vitality.
Yep.
That is definitely going to be exciting as we start to move off over the playoffs, but for Karmine Corp, kind of heartbreak now. They have Heretics and BDS to try and pick up wins against over the course of this weekend.
Yep.
That is going to be no easy task. And if you want to try and beat out like Giant X, who still have Heretics and Vitality still to play, you've got Mad Lions Koi, you still have Fnatic and BDS to play. There is still a lot that can happen over the course of this weekend.
I mean, the Spanish and the French fans are going to be sitting there going like, hang on a minute, that strength of schedule at the end is really, really rough. Now, Rogue, of course, sitting at 1-6. Right now, they feel like a bit of a ringer for the bottom side, considering that they're going up against G2, considering that, we're going up against SK for Rogue as well. So it's also a hard ask, but I mean, KC and Mad at this point, it feels like maybe one of those teams are going to be joining them. If Giant X can't step up their game, they can go into the conversation as well. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being with us. I am your caster referee for today. Someone said I look like a watermelon stuck in jail. That's completely fair, honestly.
No, you're not in jail. You just keep them in jail.
Okay. Hysterics, Dagda. We're going to go to an interview with Hylissang, and I'm curious to know more about this Camille support. Please teach us, Senpai.
All right, thank you so much for that one, Hysterics and Dagda. Hylissang, congratulations on the win. Thank you for joining me for the interview. I do indeed want to talk about that Camille support because it looked like you had a really fun game playing it.
Yeah, I think Camille support actually can be very, very strong at in the right draft. And I feel like, I mean, I didn't practice this matchup too much, but I feel like it was a good combo, especially with TF. So we just picked it.
So you're saying you didn't practice it too much, but you start the game and immediately look for an invade after level 2. You just put bow on the back foot. I'm assuming that was all part of the equation?
Yeah, for sure. I think with Rell, you can, if you have pushing bot, you can always invade and either like make enemy jungle behind for protecting bot or dive enemy bot lane. So it was like kind of lose-lose situation if you play it correctly, and I think we did. So yeah, it's draft gap a bit.
A little bit, because first today we see BB on Rek'Sai. We're now seeing you on Camille. It feels like the drafts are changing up a little bit more as we're heading towards the playoffs. Is that something that you're trialing and testing? Is it something we can keep expecting from teams?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of pocket picks right now. Rek'Sai is, I didn't know he was that strong, but he looked very obnoxious to play against. And I'm not sure if people know right now the counters, so that's why it's like a bit extra OP. And it was the same with Zac, right? He also picked Zac in the past, and it looked very strong. But then there were like some counters and nerfs. So I think this type of pocket picks are extremely OP when they're shown first.
Yeah, and when also it felt like Casey didn't necessarily have an answer to that Camille in terms of, you know, Bo getting invaded, and it was kind of like, oops, okay, well, that happened. But speaking of Camille, particularly as a support, the last time this was played was in 2017. It wasn't you, it was Mickey, if I remember correctly. So how do you feel personally about the champion? Because it looked like you had fun. You said you could potentially be more aggressive.
Yeah, I think I was very strong, especially there was a Herald fight on top when Ahri TP'd. I feel like if I timed me slightly better, I would actually one-shot her as she's tipping. But she managed to jump over the wall, and then I couldn't follow. And then I feel like I could execute this fight better, because I was really strong. I had my Blood Song and the Sky Sunderer. So this is like insane power spike for her. And if she gets these items, there is, I feel like, no champion on Summoner's Rift that can match her power spike.
Okay, well, I'm really excited to see it in a solo queue. Not really, though. But we're going to be heading over to the PGL because we have Pat there. Is there anything you want to say to Pat over on the other side?
I mean, he was 1v9ing when we came on stage, and he was like Karmine Corp were very loud, which they're gone right now. But but Pat was like fighting back. You know, they were like saying Vetheo something, and then like he was shouting back with Carzzy, and I think that gave us a lot of like strength as a team. So I liked it. So good job, Pat.
All right. Well, let's head over to PGL with Pat and Carzzy, and thanks for having the teams back.
Yeah, thank you.